Hi, welcome to the third video of our tutorial series SQL for beginners. So if you haven't looked at the previous videos, you can always go back and take a look and then you come back and join. Let us look at this command. Today we'll be looking at the group by command. We had looked at the select and the where, and we'll be looking at the group by command today. But before looking at the group by command today, we're going to just take a look at these interesting aggregation functions which you are supposed to know, and you would use them also with the group by function. So let's just go straight. Remember, we created our tables. So we have this staff table and staff salary table we created from previous videos. So if you haven't looked at, you can just go back and check and see how we created those tables. So let me just select the first tables and let me just select the tables and let's take a look at them. So I'll just do select star, and remember we always say it's good to go from the next line. So, and also capital letters for your commands. So just say staff salary and then let's run it. So we see we have our first table, staff salary, made up of staff IDs here, and then we have the job title, accountant, analyst, care rep, and then the salaries. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's just change this to staff table. So we run that. We have here on this, in the staff table, we have the staff IDs. We have the first names like Mary, Peter. We have the last names like Fonyoy, Lawrence, and age 29, 30, gender female or male. So okay, so let's go straight. So now, first aggregation function command. Let's look at the count. So we want to count how many staff we have here. So the easy thing to do is to count the number of staff ID we have. So we should be able to establish how many we have here. So let's just go, you just go and type your count and you precise the column. I want the column staff ID, you close it and then you run it. So now we're saying there are 9, we have 9 staff there. So you could as well have used, let's just go to the column here. We have staff ID. Let's note here, staff table, we have staff ID, we have last name, first name. So here with this count, you could as well have used, say, first name, and you run it, you get the same thing. You could even use age, and you run, you still get the same 9. Or even gender, you run to get the same thing. Or still you could just use a star and run it and you get the same thing. So this usually it counts. Remember, it's not, it counts the number of rows. So since we don't have missing values, everything is fine. You could use star and you get your answer. You could use any single column and you get your answer. And remember, in the last video we talked of distinct. You could have used distinct when you want to count separately. Let's say, for example, I wanted to count how many separate gender do we have. So we know that we want to count the distinct gender we have. So we know that there's supposed to be 2, male, female. So let's run that. You see, we have 2. So we are counting but without this distinct, again, you see, it would have just been a normal count of gender, how many times it occurs, and then you have the 9. So that's okay. Let's move on now to sum. So for sum, I want us to look at the salary table. Let's go to the salary table. So I'll just put star here. Let's go to staff salary so that we can sum the salary there. So we see these are the salary per staff. So let us do a sum of all the salary to see how much we have to pay our staff this year or this month. Okay, so let's go to sum, and then you open your brackets, you put your salary. So when you close that, you run it, you see you have your salary there. So this is the sum of the salary. So we could also look at what is the average salary for our employees. So we do AVG, we run it, and then we get the average salary. We could also want to look at the minimum salary. So let's do min. We put our min, we run it. That's the minimum salary. And of course, we could look at the maximum salary as well to run it, and we get the maximum salary. So we could also come to, let's go to the staff table here. Let's do our staff, and then we run it. So we could want to say what is the minimum age of or average age of our employees. So again, you do your average, you go to age, and then you run it. So you have the average age. So now when you have these functions like this, so if now, for example, you want to, let's do our star. So let's run it. So if you do your select star from staff table, then you want to know how we want to group by, say, female, male, female, male. So you know all female is like if you're used to Excel, like some sort of a pivot table. So this is where you bring in the function group, your command group by. So you say I want to group by gender. Let's just do it, and you see. So let's just group by gender. So what do you get? You see, now when you do that, now you see it just group your data by you have female, now male. And to see clearly how it's affected, let us go here, select just the gender, and then secondly we do a count of the gender. So let's do count there, close, we do it, we run it. So when we run that, you see, now we see that it has grouped our data set into 4 females and 5 males, and you see it's a sum of this that gives 9. So with your group by, you're able to do like your pivot table, you're able to summarize or aggregate, or able to, yeah, like group your data together. You know, SQL is just plain English. So you're able to group your data together and say these are the number of females, 4 of them, these are the number of males, 5 of them. So you could also group by maybe the average age. For example, you could say what is the average of, for example, age. For example, you run it. So you see it gives us the average of all the female, their age, the average age of all the male. So that's how you could use your group by with your function. You could say what's the minimum, again, what's the minimum age. So the female, the youngest female is 29, the youngest male is 27. And also we could of course go to what is the maximum age with our group by male female. Again, we run it, and then we see that the maximum age female is 40 and the maximum male is 40. So thanks for watching, and see you next video.